Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, today's story is about a potential game changer in the NFL landscape, especially for the Washington Commanders. We're talking about the recent buzz surrounding Trey Lance, a name that's been making waves since the NFL offseason. And no, it's not just about Lance's impressive preseason with the Los Angeles Chargers, but about what this could mean for the Commanders in the near future. We've seen enough to know that NFL teams are always looking for that spark, that upgrade at quarterback, especially when the stakes are high and every game matters. And with the Commanders currently looking for consistency at the QB position, this news couldn't come at a better time. Trey Lance, as you all know, was a highly touted prospect coming out of North Dakota State, a player with immense potential, a dual-threat quarterback who can beat you with his arm and his legs. The Chargers, after a rough start, have been giving him some serious reps during preseason, and let's just say, he's been impressing the coaching staff and fans alike. His mobility, combined with a surprisingly accurate passing game, has turned heads. Now, with Justin Herbert firmly entrenched as the starter in Los Angeles, Lance's role as a backup has become more stable. But that stability might be short-lived if the Chargers receive an offer they can't refuse. And here's where things get really interesting for the Washington Commanders. Rumors are swirling that Los Angeles might consider moving Lance if they get the right trade package, especially if they're looking to bolster their roster in other areas, or if they see Lance as a valuable trade chip for future needs. Now, why would Washington be interested? Well, despite having Jayden Daniels as their starting quarterback, the team has been grappling with some uncertainties. Daniels, who showed flashes of brilliance last season, has been experiencing what some are calling a sophomore slump. His performance in Week 2 against the Packers revealed some lingering accuracy issues and difficulties in reading the field under pressure. His completion percentage, which was quite impressive last year at 68.4%, has dipped to around 57.1%, a decline that's raising alarms among fans and analysts alike. The struggles don't stop there. Against the Packers' aggressive defensive line, Daniels took a number of hits, and one of those hits led to him undergoing an MRI on his knee. That's a serious concern for a team that is, right now, in the thick of playoff contention. The Commanders can't afford to have their quarterback sidelined or limited by injury, especially when they are trying to build on last season's momentum. The offensive line, which was supposed to be a strength, has shown vulnerabilities, and that's putting extra pressure on Daniels to perform under duress. It's a tricky situation because, while Daniels has shown promise, he's also demonstrated some clear areas for improvement, particularly in his accuracy and his ability to quickly read defenses when under pressure. This is where Trey Lance's name comes into the spotlight. His performance in the preseason with the Chargers has been noteworthy. He's shown flashes of the dual-threat ability that made him a top draft pick, and his arm talent is undeniable. The fact that he's already familiar, to some extent, with defensive coordinator Jack Del Rio's schemes, and that Washington's coaching staff is well aware of Lance's skill set, makes this potential trade even more appealing. Not to mention, the familiarity that defensive coordinator Dan Quinn has with Lance from their time together in Dallas in 2023. Even though they didn't work directly side by side, Quinn's knowledge of Lance's capabilities could be a decisive factor in making this move happen. Lance's ability to extend plays, scramble when necessary, and make throws on the run makes him a perfect fit for the kind of offense the Commanders want to run. With the right system, he could thrive and, more importantly, give Washington a much-needed boost if Daniels' injuries or struggles continue. The coaching staff has been eyeing a player who can be a true dual threat, someone who can keep defenses honest, and Lance fits that mold perfectly. Plus, his preseason play has given the team confidence that he can step in and lead if the need arises. And let's not forget about the broader context of the NFC East. The division has been fiercely competitive, with teams like the Eagles and the Cowboys fighting for supremacy. Washington's ability to add a player like Lance could tip the scales, giving them a more dynamic and unpredictable offense. It's a move that could shake up the division standings and set Washington up for a deep postseason run. The NFC East has always been known for its physicality, strategic battles, and sometimes unpredictable outcomes. Adding a player of Lance's caliber could be the difference in tight games, especially when it comes to late-game comebacks or extending drives in critical moments. Now, talking about the team's current status, the Commanders are in a bit of a delicate spot. They have a solid roster overall, with a strong defense and a competent offensive line, but the quarterback position has been a question mark. Jaden Daniels, despite his talent, needs to find his rhythm again, and that knee injury puts a cloud over his immediate future. If the team can secure a trade for Lance, it could give them a legitimate upgrade, a backup, or even a potential starter depending on how the season unfolds. That kind of insurance policy is invaluable, especially in a league where injuries can derail even the most promising campaigns. The trade talks, of course, are still in the early stages, but the signs are pointing towards a real possibility. The Commanders have been strategic in their moves, and they're known for their aggressive approach when it comes to improving the roster mid-season. If they do manage to pull off this trade, it's going to send shockwaves through the division and the league. Imagine Lance, with his mobility and arm talent, taking snaps behind a solid offensive line and under the guidance of Ron Rivera's coaching staff. It would be a fascinating storyline to follow, especially considering Lance's journey from a high draft pick to potentially leading a playoff-bound team in Washington. Now, what about the other side? The Chargers, of course, are in a different situation. They're contenders, and having Lance as a backup gives them insurance, but if they receive the right offer, they might be willing to part ways. It's all about timing and the kind of package they get in return. For Washington, it's about identifying the right moment, the right deal, to bring in a player who can not only fill the current void but also provide long-term stability. As fans, we should be excited about the possibilities. This kind of move can define a franchise's trajectory for years to come. And with Trey Lance's potential, the Commanders could be on the verge of something special. Whether he ends up as a backup or a starter, his presence would add a new dimension to their offense. And let's face it, for the passionate fans who have been waiting for that breakout star at quarterback, this could be the moment they've been dreaming of. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So, as we look ahead, the potential acquisition of Trey Lance by the Washington Commanders is not just a rumor. It's a real possibility that could reshape their season. The NFL is a league of ever-evolving stories, and this one could be one of the most exciting of the year. Whether or not this trade materializes, one thing is for sure. The NFC East is about to get a whole lot more interesting, and the Washington Commanders might just be at the center of it all. Keep your eyes peeled because this story is developing quickly, and we'll be here to bring you every update, every twist, and every turn. The future of Washington football, with Trey Lance potentially in the mix, looks brighter and more dynamic than ever. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe Lance is the missing piece that can take Washington to the next level? Or do you think they should stick with Daniels and focus on their current roster? Your opinion matters so much to us and to the team. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news. This is the moment, folks, a potential game changer, and I couldn't be more excited to share it with you. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Commanders.